Hey creative, what's up? It's your girl Jamila and welcome back to the laboratory. So embroidering on plush materials can be a little bit tricky, which is why today's video is all about the knockdown stitch. I'll show you how to digitize one and then we'll go ahead and stitch it out on my project so I can really show you how beneficial and helpful it is to create one. I'll have everything I use listed in the description box below. And if you like this video, you learned something new, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that bell notification's on so you don't miss any of my upcoming craft tutorials.
Alright creative, so we're going to go ahead and start off by digitizing this, and I'm using Chroma Inspire, which is the most basic level of digitizing software that Ricoma offers. As you can see over here, they have Plus and Lux, but Inspire will get the job done for what we need it to do, right? So we're just going to go ahead and hit create a new design. I'll update that later. Let's go to File and Open. And I'm using the design from Designs by Juju, and I will of course link the website where I got this from in the description box for you guys, as well as everything else that I used in this video. So this is my design I'm working with today, right? Design's perfect, of course. I'm not going to do anything to that, but what I am going to do is just add the knockdown stitch behind it, which is the knockdown stitch is it's going to do exactly what it says, knock down the fur on the blanket so that we can get a nice smooth surface, right? So I'm going to go over here to this right here where it says artwork, and I'm going to let me hit that little arrow, and I'm going to hit rectangle. Then I'm just going to get as close to the design as possible and just drag it out, right? Drag out this rectangle or square, whatever shape it is, and try and get it as close as possible without actually cutting anything off, okay? So that's a little close to the D, but that's fine. So now we need to go to our select tool, and you see I can kind of stretch it out a little bit, right? So everything else looks really good. Okay, so we have our square, and if you go over here, it's telling you right now that it's just an outline, right? So let's hit this drop down menu, go to fill, and hit apply, and you see now we have it all filled in, and then we're just going to go ahead and let this auto digitize. And then it's telling me over here, it's the standard stitch length 3.0 density for 0.40, which is fine because actually when I did this when I did test stitch, I did the density like 30, and it was a bobbin eater. Like I had to change my bobbin so many times, but then I was like, the stitches like don't need to be so close, because okay, so you see what it looks like right here, how it has like spaces and stuff. If I spread it out more, or if I drop it down, the lower the number, the tighter it is. And you see it's like super close like that. That's more thread you're going to be using. So for something like this where I just need to basically, I just need a flat, smooth surface. I don't need it to be like super tight, right? I just need the fur to be knocked down enough where my it won't eat my stitches up, where I'll be able to see my design. So I did a 40. Oops, going the wrong way. So I did 40, but now I'm looking at it, I don't know, maybe 50 could have even worked, because 40 was still a little bit of a bobbin either. I think I had to change my bobbin like twice, right? And this is working with 2 full things of bobbin. So you could kind of play around with that. 40 is good. I know 40 is good because I've used it, but 50 might work as well. So we're just going to leave that at 40, and then we're just going to hit apply. And if we go to so this is what it looks now, but if we go to the realistic view, you see it's stitched out, as well as, hold on, did I move it out the way? Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, go back to, so this is our digitized version. This is just the regular square that we actually don't need, so we can just go ahead and delete that. and this is our design. So I'm going to go ahead and change this square. I'm going to change the, hold on, sorry. It has a little border here. I don't need that border. This right here, I don't need this. It's gave me a little bean stitch outline. I don't need that, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. Okay. And I think, yeah, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and change this from orange to black, just so that we can see it. So what I did was just went over to my little panel and I hit commands, and I'm going to go from color 4. You see color 4 down here is orange. And I'm going to go ahead and switch it to color 5. Hit apply, and that turns it black. Oops. Alright, let me redo that. I had accidentally grabbed the thing. Okay, so, and if you want to add another color down here to your color panel, you'll just hit this plus sign. Hit your plus sign and add the color, then you can click the color. You can change it. Now, I want to say that is defaulted, because I don't remember changing anything in the settings to go to like the Madeira Classic thread, so you can, you know, kind of match it up like that. You know, color code it for whatever your project is. So if you want to change the color, you can do it like that. Change the colors down here. If you want to take away some colors, just hit the minus button. And yeah, so we'll do that. Okay, so now that I have my background, I'm going to take my image. I'm going to put it on top of my square. And I need to move the square to the back, so I'm just going to hit right click. And I'm going to move to the front because my twinkle twinkle little star is what was selected. So I need that to be in the front. And then I'm going to select everything, right click again, and I'm going to hit group. Okay, so now when I move one, they all move together. And when I go to my slow draw, which lets me know how this is going to stitch out, we see that the black is going to stitch out first, which is good because that's our knockdown stitch. And then the rest of the design will stitch out. So this is how I do it, you know, but I'm like super new to digitizing. I'm still learning myself. So if anybody's watching this video and you have a better way, or you know, you have any tips or tricks, or you know, anything, or maybe if I'm not even doing this right, you know, let me know. You know, listen, I'm here to learn too. You know, I'm always open to receive feedback or helpful tips or anything like that. Okay, so that's just how I do it, you know, and I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. So once we have all that, you know, everything is how you want it, go ahead to file, and you know, you're just going to go ahead and first you're going to have to save it. Save your file as a RDE, because the RDE lets it be editable. So did I say that right? Because I don't know. So, you know, you can come back and edit the file if it's RDE. So once you save it like that, then you'll just go ahead and save it. My machine, my EM1010 requires a DST file. So after I save it as a RDE, I'll go back in and export it as a DST file. Move it over to my USB, plug my USB into our Ricoma machine, and we'll just go ahead and start stitching out. Now, I'm not necessarily going to show that process because, you know, depending on your machine and your equipment, it might be a little bit different for everybody, but, you know, I kind of walk you through the gist of it. Okay, so we have this, so let's go ahead and switch over to the machine.
So I'm just going to go ahead and hoop my blanket, and I know that I want my design towards the bottom of the blanket, so that's just kind of where I'm positioning it at right now. And I actually got this blanket from Marshall's, but I'll try and find an alternative for you guys in case, you know, some people don't have Marshall's around them, and leave it linked for you in the description box of this video. Now I did do like a little printout of the design, and I'm just laying it on there to give me an idea of how I want it to lay. So since my design is at the bottom of the blanket, I need to go ahead and flip my design, and you'll do that in design set, okay? And you'll just flip it, and I like to leave my printout on my blanket to make sure that I flip it the correct way, because one time I flipped it and I mirrored it, so it wasn't able to be read. So that was, that was wrong. So I just leave it on there just to ensure that I do it the correct way. What matches up on the screen needs to match up with my printout. So once I have everything all set the way that I want, I just go ahead and trace out my design. And when that's good, I go ahead and hit start. Now I did get a thread break. And one thing I love about my machine is that when I get a thread break, I just hit the thread break button on the screen, and I can move back a few stitches, right? So that's what I just did by hitting the highlighted yellow arrows, and I hit the start button again, and we're all set and good to go. So this is the little square outline, and as you can see, the stitches are like sunken in because this blanket is so plush, right? Like the plushness almost overtakes the stitches, which is why I wanted to do this knockdown stitch. Like as you can see, as it stitches, it's flattening out the plushness of that blanket. If you don't do this, like when you do your design, you really won't be able to see it, right? And you can really tell the difference here. Like look how flat the stitches are versus how plush. Like you can see the height difference, So that is why the knockdown stitch is super important when you're working on like plush or furry material, anything like that. So just went ahead and let this stitch out. And honestly, outside of that one thread break and I had to change my bobbin, I didn't have to do anything else because, Ricky pretty much runs by himself. I do stay close by just in case, things get crazy, but they don't. I did have my machine running at the max speed, which is 1,000 stitches a minute. I didn't really time this project, so honestly, I can't really tell you how long it took. The stitching of the square, the background square, is what really took the most time, but I want to say maybe 20 minutes, but it wasn't anything too long. And again, my background square was at the density of 40, and that is how it looked. So I might do like a little test stitch and try 50 and see how that turned out as well. See if there's a big difference or whatnot. And again, if you have any input on how I can do this better, or maybe even if I did it wrong, please let me know in the comments. And even if you enjoyed this video, you learned something new, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends. Make sure you're subscribed to the laboratory if you're not. And don't forget to check out the description box of this video for a list and link of everything that I use for this video. Also, if you have a Ricoma machine, don't forget about Deco Summit 2023. It is in Miami in September this year, and it's a 3-day conference. Basically, you could get some hands-on machine training. You could actually get some Chroma training too, like in a classroom setting. They'll help you out with Chroma digitizing. I know they have like guest speakers, live Q&As. Like it's super beneficial to you guys. Like, if you needed some extra help with your machine, or if you want to learn a little bit more, because it's like every time I use my machine, I learn something new. So it's a really great event, and you should definitely attend if you can, and I'll have the link for that in the description box as well. And you can use my affiliate code to save you a little bit of money on your ticket. So once everything was done, I just went ahead and just removed it from the hoop and cleaned it up. And this is how it turned out. Like, I really like it. I love the front, the design came out nice. These are the colors that were requested, and it looks really good. But honestly, I'm not too crazy about the back. I just I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing, but if y'all have any ideas how I could cover this up and make it cuter, like, I don't know, I just don't like that little patch right there. But I mean, the blanket came out nice or whatever. It's a gift. They don't even know they're getting it, so it's not like this is something that I'm selling to the customers. I originally thought I could cut it open and then sew it back together, but no, this is actually just one blanket. There's nothing to cut into, so I was like, that was different, but you know. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you later.